When the topic of close air support comes up, most people immediately think of America's A-10 Warthog. But Russia has its own answer. The Sukhoi Su-25 Frogfoot, an aircraft that was supposed to retire years ago, yet is still very much in the fight. Even in 2025, reports emerged of Su-25s flying extremely low over Ukraine, where every mission risks running into modern air defenses. Still, it's not without reason that pilots call it the flying tank. There are stories of Su-25s returning to base with engines on fire, shredded wings, and fuselages riddled with holes. So the real question is this: why is a rugged attack jet designed in the 1970s still relevant in an era dominated by drones and advanced fighters? The story of the Su-25 Frogfoot began in the 1960s when Soviet military planners realized that future wars might not be decided by fast, high-altitude jets alone. Combat experience at the time showed that flying low, absorbing damage, and staying close to ground troops could matter more than speed or altitude. Some accounts suggest that observing American aircraft during the Vietnam War also influenced Soviet thinking. By the early 1970s, the Sukhoi Design Bureau began working on a dedicated close air support aircraft. Unlike sleek fighters built for air-to-air combat, this jet had one clear priority from the start: survivability. The cockpit was designed like an armored capsule, surrounded by thick protective plating. The engines were spaced apart so that if one was hit, the other could still keep the aircraft airborne. Broad, sturdy wings allowed the Su-25 to carry a wide mix of rockets, bombs, and guided missiles. Not everyone was convinced the idea was necessary. Some officials questioned whether such a specialized aircraft was worth the effort. But the Soviet Union pushed forward, and the first Su-25 prototypes flew in the mid-1970s. By the end of the decade, one thing was clear: the Frogfoot was something different, a brutal, no-nonsense machine built to fly low and slow, exactly where ground forces needed support the most. From a technical standpoint, the Su-25 is exactly what you would expect from a close air support aircraft. It is compact, heavy, and tough rather than sleek or elegant. The aircraft is about 15.5 meters long, with a 14.4-meter wingspan, giving it good stability at low altitude. Its empty weight is roughly 9.8 tons, while maximum takeoff weight reaches around 17.6 tons. Powered by two Tumansky R195 engines, it can reach speeds close to 975 kilometers per hour, more than enough for low-altitude attack missions. The combat radius is about 750 kilometers, with a ferry range of up to 1,850 kilometers, while the service ceiling is deliberately limited to around 7,000 meters. Armament includes a 30mm GSH-30-2 cannon and the ability to carry up to 4.4 tons of bombs, rockets, and guided missiles, making the Frogfoot a blunt but effective tool for supporting ground troops. One of the first things that stands out about the Su-25 is its speed, or rather its lack of it. With a top speed just under 1,000 kilometers per hour, it is far slower than modern fighter jets. But this is intentional. In close air support, speed is not always an advantage. Flying too fast makes it harder to spot targets, line up attacks, and deliver accurate fire. The Su-25's lower pace allows pilots to see the battlefield and directly support troops below. Its payload capacity is equally impressive, over 4 tons of weapons across 10 hardpoints, from simple bombs and rockets to guided missiles. In real combat, Su-25s often carry older, unguided rocket pods because they're cheap and readily available. That may sound like a limitation, but it explains why the aircraft is still useful, delivering massive firepower without relying on expensive precision weapons. The low service ceiling and armored cockpit reflect the same philosophy. The Su-25 was never meant to fly high. It was built to operate directly over the battlefield, where danger is highest, and to survive long enough to make it home. The most modern version of the aircraft is the Su-25 SM-3, the most refined Frogfoot to date. The biggest upgrades are found in the cockpit. Older Su-25s relied on Cold War-era instruments, but the SM-3 introduces digital displays, modern navigation systems, and improved targeting equipment. This reduces pilot workload, especially at night or in poor weather, lowering fatigue and the risk of mistakes. In theory, the SM-3 can strike from safer distances using guided weapons instead of simply saturating an area with rockets. In practice, however, many missions still rely on unguided munitions, which are cheaper and easier to supply. The technology has advanced, but battlefield habits haven't fully caught up. The Su-25 has also been exported to countries like Iraq and Georgia, and it includes a two-seat trainer variant that looks unusual but plays an important role in pilot training. Crucially, the SM-3 upgrades are not meant to turn the Frogfoot into a modern multi-role fighter. They're about survivability and efficiency, squeezing as much life as possible out of a proven design. The Su-25 entered combat very quickly after its introduction. Its first major test came in the 1980s during the Soviet war in Afghanistan, where it proved its value hauling heavy bomb and rocket loads into mountainous terrain. Losses were significant, but so were the stories of aircraft returning with severe damage, earning the Su-25 its flying tank reputation. After Afghanistan, it appeared in almost every major conflict involving Russia, from Chechnya to Georgia in 2008 and later Syria. The pattern remained the same, a rugged, effective aircraft that was also vulnerable to modern air defenses. Even in the war in Ukraine, the Su-25 remains on the front line, flying extremely low, firing rockets, and pulling away fast. This reduces exposure to missiles, but sacrifices accuracy, relying on sheer volume of fire. Losses have been heavy, with reports suggesting that more than 30 Su-25s have been destroyed since 2022. The Frogfoot doesn't win wars or change the balance of power, but it refuses to disappear. When you place the Su-25 Frogfoot next to the A-10 Warthog, the similarities are obvious. Both are squat, rugged aircraft with thick wings, twin engines, and armored cockpits designed for one mission above all else: close air support. The key difference lies in philosophy. The A-10 is defined by its massive GAU-8 cannon, so much so that pilots joke it's a gun with an airplane attached. The Su-25's cannon is smaller and less central to its identity. Instead, it relies on a flexible mix of rockets, bombs, and missiles. The A-10's turbofan engines give it longer endurance, allowing it to loiter over the battlefield, while the Su-25 typically strikes hard and exits quickly. Both are tough aircraft, but the A-10 emphasizes redundancy and backup systems, while the Su-25 leans more on simplicity and brute toughness. So which one is better? That depends on what you expect it to do. The A-10 excels at destroying armored targets and staying on station for hours. The Su-25 is at its best as a rugged frontline attacker, simple, versatile, and built to survive harsh conditions. In many ways, both aircraft reflect the militaries that built them. The United States invested in a highly specialized tank killer, while the Soviet Union created a straightforward, durable jet designed to be produced in numbers and endure punishment. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until the next video, take care and stay safe.